was, but I guess that's the best calculation you got.
Okay.
That,
Understood.
that's still crazy to me. Like,
Why y'all
you mad you didn't get blown away? Like, that is insane to me.
I don't think it's that we didn't get blown away. It's just like, dang, I had my pajamas out and ready to roll. You know, I was ready to go. I was ready to enjoy the show. But yeah, we're glad that it didn't happen the way that it was predicted that it would. So, okay, we're going to go with that. 994-8949 is the number tonight. We have a lot to talk about. It's the third Sunday of each month. We get into DMR, dating, mating, and relating. And everybody does that at some point, some kind of way. Friendships, your family relationships, your intimate relationships. Yeah, everybody does that. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And I know you're going to have something to say because spring is right around the corner and we're going to spring into action in our Singletude. So we're getting there. We're going to start off by diving in the Trumpster. I saw some things this week. We got to dive into Trumpster. They get, it'd be a bigger load every week. Like they bag back from 2 miles away. They start backing back. Oh my goodness. They're picking it up. So in the news, Eddie, I always toss it to you. What happened this week?
Listen, we got a whole bunch of stuff in this situation. First, the Congress passed the spending bill, which Democrats didn't seem to put enough opposition up for. And then Chuck Schumer at the end said, we got to do it to avoid the shutdown.
Oh, yes. Chuck. They say this is more of the same of Democrats not having a voice, buddy. You just gave him more power. You see it that way too?
It's difficult to assess it that way because the reality is Republicans and Trump ain't been respecting what Congress have been appropriating either way. Mm-hmm. So a part of it is Democrats was in a lose-lose situation because it don't matter if we revolt against it or we go with it, they're going to do what they want to do anyway. Yep. But it'll be good for what leadership should look like in this moment to actually see them pushing back in some kind of meaningful way. So even if it's just to rally the morale of the Democratic Party right now, what I will say is Jeffries pushed back against it. While I'm trying to figure out about Jeffries pushed back against it. I've been on the fence about Jeffries lately.
All right, so I would say we've seen talking about the budget. I think it sounds like every couple of weeks, we're about to go into a governmental shutdown. Every few weeks, let it shut down. Just let it shut down. What is that gonna mean for us?
If the government shut down, it means that any government employee won't be able to go to work unless they're critical. So the flights and postal service, they're gonna be working, and maybe some other select services. The biggest issue is that when the government is shut down, it gives the president sweeping powers to make a lot of changes while Congress ain't in. And so the fear was the things that Trump is doing now, if the government shut down, his ability to just do whatever he want to do will be amplified.
I said, what? So nothing different. It will continue to be what it is.
Social Security is shut down. Mm-hmm. People are furloughed. Some people don't get paid. Your government contractors, they don't work. And hey, Alabama Power, mortgages, car notes, they're understanding, but the longer it goes, of course.
Well, I mean, the whole government shut down. Come pick it up then.
Yeah,
come get the truck.
Yeah, they don't really care about that.
They don't care about the whole government is shut down. So, so basically there's been now we're looking at even less faith in the Democratic Party. Like, y'all just going with whatever. Y'all fold.
Just rolled over.
Just go. Just let them, just whatever.
Just roll over.
Hey, Wendy.
Hi.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Okay. So basically for this past week in politics, more of the same. I did see I ain't going to say he's a newcomer, but when I see people speaking out, I get excited about it. And I send them to you all because I want you to start looking at new leadership. And I was watching my show that I watch every Sunday, Meet the Press, the longest running TV show of all time. I was watching Meet the Press and Senator Chris Murphy. I want y'all to look up Chris Murphy. I liked what he was bringing. Did y'all look him up? Did y'all see what he was saying? Nah. Okay, y'all need to go look him up. Yeah, look him up. Google him right quick. He said corruption. The president has been acting unconstitutionally for 8 weeks. He's unconstitutional. He's an unconstitutional person, and he move money around. He's moving it around right in front of you, and y'all letting him do it. Now you're gonna give him more power to move some more money around. He's avoiding the government shutdown by the Democrats. Appeared to make us look soft, is what he said. I said, well.
Well, I wonder what makes him still support Schumer as the leader if he has that sentiment, right?
Like, you just said that.
But
it's save face.
But when does somebody not save face? Like, saving face has been a part of the problem, at least. Politics as usual has been a problem, part of the problem, at least, from my vantage point.
Yeah.
When does somebody have a radical or different enough vantage point in a position of leadership that makes it different? Like sending AOC and Jasmine or whoever out there to do the narrative after the stuff done gone down. What's the point if the leadership who's making the decisions come up and be like, we just gonna roll over and let this bill? And they don't message why they're doing it and why it makes sense.
Hakeem Jeffrey said no comment. So that was kind of bold move. They asked him how did he feel about the leadership? How did he feel about Chuck Schumer's leadership? That man said no comment. So it's like, I would rather you say that you agree with me in public. We're gonna be a united front in public. Beat me up at home, Eddie. Don't do it out here in front of everybody. Jump ship at home. Don't out here in front of these people. Let's be a united front. They already feel like we incompetent and all that. Let's not show them that. I think that's what it was.
Maybe. I tell you, it's the same old fight. The young against the old leadership.
Okay. We're gonna respect our elders. We're gonna respect Elder Schumer, but I disagree. That's what he said.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I think respect is earned, not given. Like, why are we respecting Schumer if he making decisions that like don't align with where we see the party going?
I can respect you and disagree. I still respect you, but I don't feel that you're the best leader. I respect you, but I think you're a little off right.
What can you do to lose respect from me then? What can he do to lose respect for you? Put on MAGA hat.
Ooh. That ain't just losing respect. I'm gonna want to have him committed.
Well, how far did he drift over on that scale before? Like, is it a certain amount of decisions that you disagree with where it's like you've lost or is it just because you've attained this position garners respect?
I think
yes.
Like, yeah. You respect the office, you respect the chair, you respect the seat. But the person you wait, like you said, is earned. So you wait to match that trustworthiness. But even if you don't like the person, you respect the office.
So what does respecting the office look like for somebody like Tuberville? What does that mean?
He's a senator, right?
Yeah.
So we always have to call him senator.
We represent him by Senator Tuberville.
That's as far as it go. We call you the name of the position.
We're waiting on the evidence to catch up to the seat.
I don't know, man.
Okay, because what? There have been some amazing seats with some horrible people in them, and respecting the seat, it's a position. When people say you don't say nothing about no pastor, he's a man, and I don't like him, and I said what I said. Then what happens? I'm supposed to get struck down immediately. Is that what happens? Like, I'm just trying to see, how does that go? You're the boss. You're my manager. I don't like you. I respect the management, the idea of management, but I don't like you as my manager. So do I have to be nice to you?
It's not about nice.
Just respect.
Just respect.
Okay, understood.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think I feel that way. I mean, I have to agree with how the government is running the government for me to look at those seats and think they're valuable, because there's some white supremacists in some of them seats. So if a white supremacist can end up in a seat with a bunch of brown people, then it's something wrong with the way that those people are chosen.
J Hat says because he's in a seat, it's a position, it's a place that he's been voted into. He might be a white supremacist person, but we got to respect him. Is that what you said?
I feel if you don't want to respect those people in those seats, then go vote. Remove them from the seat. And I think that's the biggest issue we have. Same way we talked last week. Get those people out of the office. Show them how much respect you got for them by getting them eliminated.
Yeah, I have no respect for you, so I got to
You're the
move you,
weakest
right?
link.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Okay.
And I definitely agree with that. But the vantage point I look at it is, why is it so easy for that kind of person to get in that seat?
Because they've had the power before being in the seat.
Which erodes my trust in the system.
Right.
Absolutely.
Itself.
Okay.
Well, the system is designed for people to vote.
Correct.
But then I did.
And the problem
Not
is a lot
enough
of,
of
people,
us.
The problem is a lot of people change once they get in the seat. So what you voted for is not what's in the seat.
That's why I don't run, because I would be so nervous to get in there and get hold of some stuff and be like, dang, I'm acting different.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm gonna tell the truth the whole time. I'll never make the seat.
I'm gonna tell the truth, but then you might be like, well, you got tickets to Classic.
Oh no.
But you got people that do that. You got politicians that do that.
You know what?
That run on that type platform.
You know what? I respect what I believe the seat is supposed to represent, but I think that we've gotten so far off course that they not representing what they intended to.
The people, right?
Yeah, the people.
I represent my people, though.
My partner in the seat.
My right. The people that rock
the
with
corporations
me.
that's lobbying for these changes that I can influence making, and they got me a nice little cushy board seat. They're gonna pay me $1.2 million a year for doing nothing.
Hello, somebody.
Put me on a board like that, because I'll be on boards that don't pay. I'll be on free boards because it's about the people. I'll get on the paid board.
The people don't get paid.
Dang. But if I get paid to be on the board, I'm gonna make sure the people get what they need.
You're gonna sway in the way of the interest of the people, of the majority.
Wendy, so what you saying is I should just keep doing what I'm doing?
No, ma'am. If you would like to change that, then change it.
Okay.
Once they get in position, they
Don't
sway
change.
towards the majority.
So if you would like to make a change, get in the space. But if you're going to change when you get in the space, don't try to make a change that way.
You gotta
in the
stand
neighborhood
10 toes
association.
on what you ran with.
All right, so let's talk about that right quick, because Birmingham and local legislation is coming up on an election, and I don't know if we're talking about it at all, or I know we're not talking about it enough, but are we talking about it at all? Have we seen anybody say anything about Birmingham politics?
I didn't even know
that we vote in August, and it is
26.
What is this? March, April, May. June. We got 6 months. That's kind of that ain't long. Yeah, I said Kamala only had 100 days. That wasn't long. So
what you saying
Much
is we about to
smaller
see Megan Thee Stallion soon.
she gonna come to a pep rally.
Coming to a pep
No, I don't think we need that in Birmingham.
Glorilla.
I don't know. I just think Birmingham is gonna do what it's gonna do, and everybody will be fine with what it is. I think the races for us to watch are the city council seats. But everybody that's in the city council seats is running again, except for one person. Valerie Abbott says she's not running again.
Is Carol Clark running again?
And Carol Clark is not running again.
2 open seats. At District 8 gonna be hot.
That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
Heard it's on fire.
It's on fire.
Okay, so like locally, there are some hot button fire issues, gun violence. Still looking at grocery stores and economic empowerment and equality in neighborhoods and all those. We're still looking at all those issues in the neighborhoods. Do we need to see some Birmingham changes? Yeah. No. Yeah. Y'all comfortable in Birmingham? All is well?
No. Speak it.
I mean,
it's a lot to go.
Huh?
Fix the potholes.
The
The roads are terrible, especially on my way over here. They need to fix that.
Potholes, huh?
She said, "Oh,
They're
over
working
here."
on them. The mayor said he working on them.
Yeah. So police. Okay, so over here in Ansley, this is the area where the seat is coming available. This is my area, but I don't, I don't, because I'm gonna be like, I've changed. Who you changed when you got in that seat? I changed for the pedal. But we need somebody to represent Ansley that understands Ansley. I believe that people that run for seats locally should be from the area. Don't just put somebody in the seat.
Right.
That's gonna be hard.
No.
Because usually people of that level of intellect move away.
Oh, okay.
And become disconnected.
Okay.
So
I
you
agree.
really don't know what's going on
What?
You don't. Slim chance. You don't know what's going on in the area anymore.
Slim chance they're gonna move back to run.
Slim.
But they do.
No, not to move back to run.
Just to run, yeah, just to
They
save
do.
it.
Yeah, they do. They go get them a loft down there.
Or either go to grandma's house and go and fix it up.
Yeah,
And
they do. But I'm with you though. It needs to be somebody from the area.
Yes.
I'll wait on it.
You gonna wait on it?
I'm gonna wait on it.
All right, clap your hand when you hear it.
All right. So we got like North Birmingham, And
Over
you look at the layout of the city. You look at the parts of the city that do get attention, that seemingly get love. Avondale, Crestwood,
Yep. Southside, especially the
Yeah.
Railroad Park District area.
yeah.
And
Do-
North
do you-
Birmingham by
Chris-
Protective Stadium,
yeah,
that
yeah.
area.
What's the area up on top? Altamont area.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Crestwoodish, yeah.
And coming back
Woodlawn,
like Southside
Woodlawn.
on top of the hill, going
Mhm.
up Red Mountain.
That
Yeah.
money came all the way to Inslee and stopped.
Why did it do that?
Oh, we don't know. You do, but I don't.
I don't.
You do.
Sheesh. Is it leadership? I need somebody that's in a place that understands my woes for the area that I live in. You've been saying the same stuff I've been saying as long as we've been living in this area. And is it that we don't understand the power of those in the seats? Like, do they have the power to really push these things? What is it? What?
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Do y'all think it's realistic to nurture the younger generation, seeing those who may be viable for leadership, and begin investing in them in a way where it's like, hey, as a community, you want to come back, you want to go have an experience, you want to come back. What we're doing is investing in your journey to becoming a politician where you can come back to this community.
So here's the thing with that, and I was about to address that, and I said nope. But it's
yep.
actually our time. We're supposed to be running for these seats.
Okay.
So who do we feel is suitable enough to run?
Wendy.
We are the generation. It's our time. We lived in these Inslee streets. We partied. We've rallied. I think me and Wu have passed out enough flyers
in these streets.
In these streets, it's really us. So it's not really the ones that's coming after us. It's us.
Well, and I guess I'm responding to your sentiment of people of the intellect that would do that have gone, they ain't coming back.
Yeah.
But while those of us are looking for those seats, what does looking for the next generation look like? Because Republicans are doing this.
Like grooming.
Republicans already know
grooming
whose sons and
politicians.
grandsons is
Absolutely.
going to be coming up behind them.
Absolutely.
What does that look like in a community like Inslee? Like for the people, the person who have the next seat, how do they identify kids that are good candidates for, hey, you need to come be in this office, you need to come participate in these systems?
So
For
it
sure.
looks like those Ramsey graduates from last year that got accepted to those Ivy League schools and that have those majors. We have to bring them back if you really want to groom.
Or don't let them
kids.
leave. How you do that though?
Well, let them leave with community money. What does it look like to build up enough money from the community who want to invest in those kids?
Right.
Is that something that's possible?
That sounds like something similar to Birmingham Promise, kind of, sort of. Yeah. I'm not sure of the full inner workings of that, but it does sound similar to that. I'm going to tell you guys about a family in Mobile, the Figures family. So Shamari Figures just was elected for the district that was drawn in that area, and down at Mardi Gras there is a group. There's a group, one of the Mardi Gras groups. What's the name of the group? Comic Cowboys. The Comic Cowboys, and they have these signs that are very much problematic. They have these displays in the parade, and one of them was saying that Democrats won, another crook is being put in, something like that, basically saying that this whole family got in off of bad deals and stealing. But it's a Black family, the Figures family. Vivian Figures and her husband, her family, all of them have all of the family before that, they've been in politics. Why would Shamari not be a genuine politician? Like, this is really who he is. It's in his blood. But this sign said that's not the case. He's in it for the money that his family has already been getting. He's going to continue to get it.
And every politician in it for the money? All of them don't have it.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. I forgot.
I wouldn't be in it either. I'm not in it for the money.
It's no money.
But it's the connections.
That's what it is.
Okay.
These connections going to make me show money.
This connection's not equivalent. It's not equal to money.
Revenue.
Sometimes.
It's the incentive, actually. Because if you look at the salaries of these people, they have no salary.
Right.
But the incentives.
Is it the title?
Yeah, but that's what we've been talking about.
The respect of
I'm a counselor. You have to respect me when I walk in the room.
Right. I get in free. It's I don't have to pay for food. It's the respect
Yeah.
of the seat.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let me get that.
You don't get no food.
It's the connections of the people that have the loans and the mortgages and the buildings and the leasings
The
and
programs,
the
I could put all my people
programs
in
and-
first. And
Mm.
I think if you earn that, then you can have it.
no, they don't have to earn it.
What I'm saying
It's the
is,
respect of the seat.
I guess
simply.
So do they earn it while they doing the campaign?
They don't earn it then. Once you
Okay.
get in the seat, we respect the people that are in the seat.
They
Just
get
like
though
you
everybody
were
don't
driving the point. We respect the people in the seat. So when you come into an establishment and like, oh, that's city councilman so and so.
Oh, he just said another area, the riches of East Lake. Absolutely, because up there by the trail and Ruppner, nice. So that,
Plus,
yeah. But what's happened? All of those areas are gentrified areas.
that's true.
what I'm saying is,
Wow.
I think the people should not be extending that olive branch if you haven't done the things we need you to do as a community. Like,
Okay.
why hold the seat in such a high reverence that before you even do anything, you get these offerings?
A lot of people aren't even really knowledgeable about what these people should be doing in their seat. They just respect the seat.
It's just the seat. It's all about the seat.
Well, you know, me speak, my perception from that family and the people criticizing that family is how we know that DEI and merit-based systems ain't got nothing to do with nothing but being black.
Mm-hmm.
Because every single other family politician, if you go back into history, got they uncles, grandfathers, and all they different family members in these seats. But when it
Right.
come to black people being in the seats, it's a problem because the family is involved in it now.
I'm gonna try to
These
find
systems
that
ain't
picture.
about the merit that they claim them to be about. Is fully about we don't want black folks to be where black folks be at. And this is how we are
Stop trying
framing
to
it.
come over here.
Stop black folk.
Exactly. Like,
Stop coming over here.
you can be somewhere, but not where we can see you.
Yes.
Oh, well.
Do it silently.
Let me find this.
How about you tell us the idea? We say it for you.
This sign, yeah, it said feds create new Alabama voting district. Figures, a Democrat won. And they had figures. They're the Comet Cowboys, y'all. So every year at the end of Mardi Gras, I stay to watch their parade because they say stuff like this too. These signs would have been a lot funnier if Kamala had won. Then they had one that said for Aldi. Let me see what the one for Aldi said. Aldi, brands you've never heard of. I'm gonna post all of them again.
And that was going to be the outcome anyway because of how hard they fought to not have to create that extra district.
We don't want
It was going
that.
to be that anyway.
Listen to this one. Don't pity Diddy. Bail ain't the only way out of Epstein's jail. Y'all, Trump's new DEI, done enabling idiots. And they marched down the streets with these, and the black folk was up there with their hands up to catch the moon pies and the beads. I said, next year, if I were in Mobile, we would actively pass out some flyers. Comet Cowboys parade, their floats come down the street, we turn our backs. Because why we let them do this every year? Every year. And I take pictures of them every year, like, that's how y'all feel. Oh, okay. I see. Wow. I'm going to post them again. I posted them. Yeah, y'all must not have paid that no attention.
Must not have.
It's that one.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
These signs would have been a lot funnier if Kamala had won. I said, oh,
Blatant disrespect on purpose.
And that's what it is.
coming through the hood. Pop, 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 pop. That's how I dive into Trumpster. Anything else? I like to point out the good that people do, y'all. I really want to talk about the good things that Donald Trump has done with Elon Musk. We never do that.
No,
That would make me feel really good if we could do that sometimes.
What are they?
ain't none of that.
It's got to be something.
Mm-mm.
Nothing. Y'all.
It ain't nothing.
So-
Come on,
It's
J-Hat.
subjective.
Something
It is
good.
It is
but
very subjective.
I agree with some of the male and female things that are taking place. So
Okay.
Yes.
I don't
But is
think
that good?
I think it's good. I don't think men, boys, should be in girl sports.
Yeah, I agree. Because why are you trying to run so fast?
Why your calf muscles so
Dude.
big?
Like
Oh,
it's women's sports for a reason.
okay. If in those situations, we kind of talked about that last week.
Yeah,
If
we
in those
did.
situations, yeah,
Because I don't want you next to my daughter in the bathroom,
You feel?
sir. Sir, ma'am.
Miss ma'am.
Miss ma'am.
And then we got
y'all, it's
pronouns.
not funny.
We gotta
You're gonna get us
identify by
canceled.
pronouns.
What?
I'm not a fan of it. I still don't like it.
You don't?
You don't like it?
No, because it was already something that was being handled and decided by states. They just going along with what the Republican rhetoric men have been trans to rally everybody into this wedge issue to where it's really hard to say I agree with it because it's a very complex issue. And what should be happening is we should accept the reality of trans people as it is and start creating systems to where they can participate in society the way they want to without impacting those other systems. But what being said is trans people don't exist. It's only male and female. And so you got this isolated group that's left over that still want to participate in society. But, you know, whether they should be able to participate in sports or not like that, that is a conversation to have. But like unilateral decisions are being made that are referencing their non-existence, not their existence and what we do about it.
We
So
can
we got to
let them
create. We
exist
got to
in their
create
own
a lane for them.
Yes.
But that's what I'm saying. Ain't
Yes.
nobody trying to have a conversation about what that lane looks like. They're just saying now y'all can't be nowhere, but ain't nobody saying where you can be. They're saying you can't have bathrooms, but not saying what do we do about that. They're saying you can't play in girls' sports, but
that.
So I agree to a degree if we're going to create a lane for them, but nobody's trying to have a conversation about what that lane looks like. They just invalidating the existence right now.
Let me tell y'all
Well,
something.
I think the existence is already created when you come out.
Come out of where?
Two genders.
Out the womb.
The womb. Okay, I thought you
Yeah,
meant like
you,
you come
you
out.
enter into what you is,
But I mean,
whatever that is.
there's a whole bunch of different combination of chromosomes outside of XX and XY that represent different gender expressions in our society.
Gender expressions, but not genders.
So, if you express your gender differently from what you appear,
All right.
They have qualified that to be mental illness.
but it's not anymore.
That's because they made that up.
So,
But we do know that there are people that are born with male and female
Kids
genitalia.
are walking in
right?
classrooms and are able to tell teachers, "I'm a cat today," and they have to acknowledge that these kids are
Right.
cats
They
or
don't like that?
elephants.
And I'd be confused.
You
You
are
don't like that?
meowing
No,
during class time.
because when I'm
Yeah.
reading, I'm
You're
reading down that
disturbing.
roll. It say one
They
thing.
wearing
you
tails. My niece told me
yes,
they
yes,
were
you
wearing
need
tails.
you need to be
you need to let me be who
in
I
a
am.
trailer
leave me
like they
alone.
used to do. See what's happened is people are so sensitive now
Mm.
because when I was in school, somebody came in and said they want to be a cat. You was on up in that trailer outside the school.
Okay. So we haven't advanced. Do we not look at these as advancement?
No, I look at it as if they're overlooking and become very slack.
So think about this,
Children.
Before this conversation, before we were able to have this conversation, somebody was having this conversation about Black people.
What were they saying about us?
Monkeys, ignorant, don't have him here. He can't do
but
it.
those
He's not
were
a
labels
man.
that they try to give us. These people are labeling themselves
So
voluntarily.
what bathroom that? What they send them to the back? That's what they
Trailer.
did to us.
Trailer.
So it's the same type of discrimination.
Trailer.
I mean, but that's a social construct that was created.
And we're Black because this is how we
But
came.
yeah, we come out this way. Bing.
Okay.
I can't do nothing about that.
I came
And
out.
everyone
like this.
came out this
I
way.
came out like
Listen,
this.
gender as a whole is a social construct.
I agree.
Gender as a whole is a social construct. Like what we like, if you zoom out into the universe, blue and pink don't mean nothing. We've decided what blue and pink mean when you zoom into where we
Right.
at.
That's why my mama them had light purple and yellow for me because
Like,
we already know she gonna be off the show.
So-
Let her have
so-
yellow.
with the trans conversation is less
Mint
about
green.
gender and more about as far as sexuality go, what do the ranges look like? Yes, we have applied M and F to those different groups, but what does it look like for M to be very, very close to the side of F, or F to be to the very, very close side of M? And the biggest harm that the trans legislation is going to do, because they talking about you got to change your ID, you can't get on a flight if that's the case. The people who are going to suffer the most who are women who have more traditionally masculine features, because there's no way to know if somebody is trans. So what people are going to be doing is looking at women who have more masculine features and be questioning that situation.
Well, we should just disassemble the entire dictionary because every word has a meaning.
You took okay. I was just about to ask.
We should just
what do we
disassemble
feel?
the entire
What do we feel
dictionary
that
at this
transgender
point.
mean? What does transgender mean? Let's define
Across
it.
genders.
No, let's define it. I'm sure it's in a dictionary.
We decoding it.
I want to.
Trans. We got to
Trans means what? Okay. Let's define
All
it.
right, let's go.
All right.
Trans definition means denoting or relating to a person whose gender identity does not correspond with the sex registered for them at birth.
It just simply does not correspond with.
Yeah.
That's
So
what we
a
do.
prefix meaning on the other side of, referring to the misalignment of one's gender identity with one's sex assigned at birth, transgender.
Let's break that down. You're a nurse.
That means what I was born as, I'm going to skip to the other side.
Okay.
Or I can decide whether I want to be on this side or the other side. If I'm a female, I decide I want to be a male in my mind.
And I can
All of these
change
things
it too. I can really
start
do it.
in the mind.
Mhm.
So that means it's mental.
And what do we call a brother who comes out black and then he is on the other side of the blackness?
I can't say it on the radio. The N word with the W.
And we, okay. I'm just saying,
That's why I
like,
said we should
hey,
just disassemble the entire dictionary because people are twisting things and making them fit. And it's so outside of the box.
Well,
And they don't want to just address the real issue. If you were born a certain gender,
I
or-
don't like you. I don't like girls. I don't like being one. I don't like how it feels. I don't like how y'all think. I don't like how you act with all your stupid hormones. I don't want to be a girl anymore.
die and
You
be
should
born
respect
again.
okay.
I'm gonna book you for a session. All right. So we have been able to conclude that
All right.
y'all trying to get us. Y'all trying to get canceled. That's what y'all trying to do. That's what.
Not
Come
really.
on, Marshall.
All right. So when I was in college, I took a like a film class and we had to make a short film. And we decided to do a story on a girl that was in my group. She was on the basketball team and we were just like really like broadcasting her story.
Okay.
So when we were like doing the parts of like about her mom speaking, her mom was saying that when she was in the womb, she was a boy and they had bought all boy clothes, everything like boy stuff. But then when she was actually born, she was a girl. So her demeanor, the way she talked, walked, everything was as if she was a boy. And again, she was on the basketball team, not meaning anything, but y'all know, like, typically those women are like more masculine, I would say. Sometimes.
Don't do that. Don't do
But
that.
I'm just saying.
Don't do that.
I'm just
Don't do that.
saying.
Well, I'll say.
She-
I understand what you're saying.
If she was supposed to be a boy and she still has those feelings and she was born a girl, she can't really help that.
I'm just trying to. How are you supposed to be a boy and then you not one? I'm
don't
having a
know
hard
what
time with
happens
that.
with the body. I don't know. I've heard of that before though. Yeah.
994-8949 is the number. This is one of those conversations that leads us into DMR, dating, mating, and relating, because that's really where I think a lot of this started. Like, people look at gender as sex, and those are two different things. And we study sexuality. That's a whole course. Even how to use the DSM-5, which is what we diagnose from. And I've never diagnosed anyone transgender.
Wow.
I've never diagnosed anyone male or female. Like, that's not what. Yeah. I get it. I totally get what you all are saying, but the respect and the space. In the United States of America, where we're all in the pursuit of life, liberty, happiness. If me being a guy and kicking it with my boy John here makes me happy, or looking like this and saying that I'm a boy, you should let me do it.
And they are letting them do it.
Yeah.
Nobody's stopping anybody from doing anything.
Yeah, you just
Donald Trump just said that I'm either a boy or a girl, a
But you
male
can't-
or
you
female.
can't
But he can't
in
rally.
box with girls, and you're a dude.
I think they need their own space for that for sure. But
I
like
mean,
Ed was
I-
saying, I don't think we should just like completely cancel them out as a person because they still do
You're
exist.
right.
Like,
Still
they're still
human
people.
beings.
When Republicans hone in on one message consistently, to me, it's a trap. So Republicans keep saying, you know, that Israel, that whatever culture she was from, boxer who was beating up women in the court. That's why we got to keep it. They're getting very common sentiment about something that don't have enough information to get everybody to just pool into being okay with all these other changes. Like, you got to change your license back. You got to change your passport back, or you can't fly. Like it's ushering in sentiment that makes it okay with all the other trans stuff. Trans people about to get kicked out of the military. Like, all of these different other changes. Again, there is a social conversation that needs to be had about what we do. But again, we're avoiding the conversation by minimizing these experiences.
I ain't lying. Caller, you're in with the hello. I know you didn't just hang up. Or should they just hung up? Okay, we'll get you in next time. Call back 994-8949. Eddie, what were you saying now?
I was just saying, like, Republican, when they hone in on a message and they don't change it very much, they just trying to like put something out there that's very ambiguous to disagree with, so that they can usher in all of this other stuff, and nobody really bat an eye because they just keep using that same talking point.
I don't think that we're trying to eliminate them as people, just like how you have to respect anything else. I think we should respect people wanting to have privacy when it comes to, if I'm a woman and I want to be in the bathroom, I just don't want to stand beside somebody whose parts are different from mine and be violated.
Caller, you're in with the show. What's your question, comment, thoughts, or feelings?
Hello?
Hey.
Hey. I couldn't hear, so forgive me.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
First of all, who's that woman?
That's my cousin.
The one that I agree with. The one that's next to my brother.
Oh, you watching? I was like, dang. That's Wendy. Wendy's new to the show, and Marshall is next to her.
I like her.
Okay. Tell me why.
I like her. She's sound.
Your sound. That's just today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could change tomorrow.
Where you been, man? We missed you. Okay, we missed you. Well, come on back in. Catch us up. Catch us up with what you've been thinking and why you say Wendy is sound. What did she say tonight that has made you so happy?
One thing she said is you might want to throw away the whole dictionary. Because I was taught if it walk like a duck, quack like a duck, it's a duck.
Okay.
That's simple. I mean, I know we don't want to hurt people's feelings. Point well taken. But sometimes the truth hurts. It is what it is.
Okay. Simple as that, huh? All right. You probably gonna want to call back in a minute. Stay by the phone. Stay by the radio. All right, Wendy, you got your one. Boom. Got you a fan. But I told you, everybody gets their own people.
You know what?
Listen. Yes, Eddie.
Yes, Eddie.
I don't care about you treating me nice if you acknowledge my humanity.
Right.
I really don't have to be treated nice if you just acknowledge that what I am and what I exist as is okay in my lane. If it ain't your lane, that's fine.
That's how I see it.
And
exactly.
when it comes to the dictionary, words evolve. When it comes to research and data and science, academia starts investigating these terms and they mean more. Like there's levels to words and definitions. Like there's levels to the white supremacy. There's level to racism. When people start talking about black people can't be racist, if you use the dictionary definition of racism, you can. But if you get into academia and talk about the power dynamics and what it means, to be a black person that can't impact anything the same way that the majority of white society can, we're talking about a layered definition. So it's like when you talk about transgender, the definition gives you this, but like when you get into academia, when you get into research, when you get into experiences, it's gonna shift and change. And I guess my vantage point is I would never act like I know what it's like to be a woman because I ain't never had a woman experiences. But there is no part of me that says those experiences must be mental illness, because I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I'm just leaving room in my existence for trans people's existence to be absolutely real, to be something that they absolutely struggle with. And if those things are real, what can we do as a society carve out a space for them?
You know what? Let me find these people that like to clap because that was good right there.
It was very good. And as a nurse, and I deal with psych patients as well, when those people have those experiences, when they go through psychosis, they're real. We can't tell them that they're not real because they experience it. So it is still in their mind. If you come out of the womb, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, you are entitled to do what you want with your body, your choice. But it still starts in your mind. And we have to allow room for you to have that experience, of course, because it's your life. But when it begins to affect other people, and it affects other people, if I put my 7-year-old daughter or a woman is in a competition and then this man comes in and she would have won because it's a woman's sport, and you get this man in and he blows her out the water, it is affecting other people now because of what you think in your mind.
Say, yeah, she still won the race.
She won, but she didn't.
But she didn't. Right.
She didn't.
All right.
So, and then in the bathrooms, and I'm gonna stick to that because I've seen it happen. You have a girl in the bathroom, a little girl should be able to walk in the bathroom with her mother or her father standing on the outside, but you can't now because you've got transgender people.
But that's also a really complex issue too.
And Eddie, before you go into that, just because I'm trans doesn't mean that I'm a pedophile.
And you don't have to be a pedophile.
Okay.
But what if you don't want your child exposed to those parts at that age? It's not about
they
them.
Don't have no doors. What bathrooms we going in? What restaurants we using?
But I'm just saying, we still in the same space.
At the urinal.
Yeah. We're in the same space. We're sharing the same space.
We're open.
Yeah. So
who gonna come in there?
Like
what I'm gonna do? I'm just trying to make. I wanted to make visual sense. Yeah. I come into women. I come in because I'm with my homeboy. I come in the men's restroom like this, just like this today. Hey.
Yeah.
And y'all don't have doors, right? Oh, so you may have a stall and then the urinals.
Partitions. Yeah.
How am I gonna use that anyway? Do I get up on it and stand up on it? I'm making this visual. Do I get up on the top of the urinal, or what do I do?
Every bathroom isn't up to code and isn't up to standard. So I've been in several bathrooms where there weren't doors on the stalls, and you had to use it.
I've used men's restroom as a whole woman because I had to use it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Hey,
so if you're in that predicament and it's for women, and you have a transgender come in whose parts aren't changed,
okay,
and now your daughter's exposed to that and hadn't seen it before.
Okay,
how do you explain that?
Hold up. And normally when that happens, club flow, your girls is at the door. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
but you can't say wait a minute when it's a 6'6" guy with a dress on. And you have to.
First of all, I'm gonna hold it anyway.
So in women's restrooms, there's not compartmentalized urinals.
But we just we said that sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's not. All conditions aren't the same in the bathrooms.
How often is anyway? I'm gonna go into
it be doors.
My point.
Or a curtain of
yeah. Wait, I'm the scenario in which you would see another person's privates would still be uncomfortable if it's just women. If you could see a woman about naked next to you, that should be a bigger problem.
First of all, why are you in here peeing naked?
And I would imagine
you
that
could have had on a jumpsuit. What if you had on this jumpsuit?
I would imagine if stalls were next to each other, if I walk into the bathroom and the stalls were next to each other where you do number two, and it ain't no, you just see a row of stalls, I'm leaving that bathroom.
I don't want to
use that bathroom. You know what I'm saying?
994-8949 is the number. 994-8949. Jump in on this conversation. Y'all, we go these places. I didn't even see how the week was going, but I guess from the conversation we can tell everybody's had an eventful week. And we're still there. So trans conversation. How do we get here?
I'm gonna add something.
We were talking.
We got to the stuff that Trump is changing. The stuff that Trump is changing that somebody agree with.
There we go. Okay.
But listen, let me say this. To date,
yes,
there still has not been an amount of trans women who have harmed young kids in a restroom than weird men who just go in the restroom to harm women.
Let's go back to the phone lines. I agree. Caller, you're in with this. Did you hang up too?
Okay, well, let me continue. All right. So another piece of it, this is the complex part about the trans conversation, because they go to the bathroom with your gender. But when you have transgender people that so deeply fit the aesthetic of the gender that they have transitioned to, that's going to aesthetically be a problem. So it makes more sense to go into the bathroom that your aesthetic feature fits versus otherwise. Because anybody who's listening, go look up Buck Angel. But this going into the bathroom and seeing this person, y'all would not think that is a trans woman or a trans man. You would not. So it makes more sense for this person to go into the men's bathroom for women's comfort than them to go into the women's bathroom. So if y'all listen and look up Buck Angel, that is a trans person that has fully transitioned that you can't tell their gender expression.
It's Buck Angel fighting Mike Tyson.
I mean, again, we can go to.
I'm just saying.
We can go to the conversation about what it means for sports, but
that's all we were saying. Like sports and violating people who don't want to be violated in areas where they could potentially be violated.
Well, what I'm pointing out is there's so many complex parts of trans conversation that, like, instead of invalidating it and minimizing it, I think we need to maximize it and be like, hey, trans community, this is what we're going to do for your sports, so that we ain't got to be having this tit for tat and figuring out how trans people can participate in society and athletics in that way.
Right.
Let's have the conversation instead. And that's all I'm saying. And I think, I don't think you want to erase their existence,
no,
but I
not
think
at all.
the people who are on the far side of you that agree with the same thing you agree with want to do it, and they will use your support for that little issue to do all the little nefarious stuff they want to do in the background.
They can't use me.
Okay. Let's bring it back in, because you think about how this, like I said, this conversation could span so many different directions and marginalized groups and who identifies as marginalized, misrepresented, underrepresented, underrepresented populations. Who might some of those other groups be? Women,
veterans,
okay,
women, persons with disabilities,
yes,
black people, brown people, Latino,
yes,
elderly.
Yes.
We see with Vivek Ramaswamy, y'all can get swept under the rug in a second.
Okay.
by not aligning.
People who live in poverty.
With precision.
People with minimal education. So these conversations apply to so many different people. I think what I recognize right now is that the wrong people are having the conversation. I don't need you to have a conversation about me and you don't understand my experience. How you gonna make law something that you don't even understand? Why are you so bothered by me being what I say I am? But since you are, invite me to the table. Let's have a conversation. Why does that never happen?
It's happened on a lot of platforms. I've seen a lot of podcasts, especially with Candace Owens. They give these people the platform to speak for themselves. And I've just never heard any of them successfully sell it for themselves. And that's the issue. When you break it down and you explain, none of them can really successfully explain why they are, why they feel the way they feel, without being just, talked over, talked around, talked above, talked below. Let me explain to you why you feel the way you feel. And that's what genuinely happens at every forum or every platform that they have.
So I'm sure there's some. I have a whole group of people that I know, an amazing trans group right here in Birmingham. And I really feel like they could tell you exactly what it is. I really do. Take is the name of the group. If anybody from Take is listening, 994-8949. And from your experience, like, I want to hear from somebody that has experience. So during our break, I'm going to make a reach out to see if somebody can get my people on the line just briefly I had to do one thing at a time, to tell us what's up, because we don't know. We just know that we don't want to be violated. I don't want to see your penis.
But we don't want them violated as well. Okay. We don't want them to feel away as well. So it might be a lack of understanding.
Absolutely.
But what we've been shown from what's going on, this is just what we see.
Okay.
Because you only see what's blasted in the media. And you don't really have personal experiences because, like you said, there's not really enough.
Yeah.
I've had personal experiences because of my profession.
Same for me.
But the people as a whole don't have enough positive personal experiences.
So I will say, just briefly, before we go to our next hour and get into this DMR and transition, we're going to transition today in just about 6 minutes. We're transitioning from having these conversations. I remember the first client that I had at one of my sites was my first trans client and was so excited. We really vibed, but I didn't know. I asked something that I didn't know because I was curious. And I said, hey, well, what was your, anything, tell me something about who you were. What was your name? Like, what did you look like? I wanted to see a picture or something. She was like, It was just simple. Basically, that part of me doesn't exist anymore. If I can't respect that, and if I didn't have the emotional intelligence and the social skills to understand that meant that part of me is dead. This is who I am now. I also know that there's a lot of stuff wrapped up in that. So where, for full humanity that may not have those skills or that insight, how do we get people to recognize that. Like, okay.
Some people are committed to not understanding that.
They're
Ooh.
committed to
And that's
not
the problem
understanding.
because those same podcasters will intentionally dead name people. They will intentionally say your name that their dead name that no longer exists. And what you don't understand is, because I've had trans clients, that transition came with so much ostracization, so
Yeah.
much fear, so much worry, so much already rejection, the understanding that I might lose my family, I might lose my friends, I might lose my church, I might lose all of my philosophy and understanding, I might lose my job, and life is going to be hard. I posit that there's more trans people that ain't never gonna capitalize on that transition than there are actual trans people that are actually capitalizing on it. Because same thing for gays. Like when it comes to men being down low,
Yeah.
it's like there's a lot of men that got families and that ain't never gonna capitalize on transferring out of their sexuality because they are afraid of what it means for what they would lose. And again, I would just like for us to create a space to say, this is where y'all can exist and this is how y'all can exist. Because I promise you, trans people just won't be left alone. They don't not want to be the center of these conversations. And if a moment pops up to where, yeah, you participating in this sport may be a problem, let's figure out as a society how to deal with that.
And so, in the same vein, in the same breath, they're creating their own community, right? Which means you don't feel accepted in the other community, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of your fear, out of your anxiety. So if you're going to create your own lane, create your own lane.
What that mean? In our society,
You're trying to play both sides. You're trying to go back into the one that you say you don't want to be in.
In what way? What do you mean?
You're trying to integrate the things that you said have caused you anxiety and fear. You're trying to integrate that back into your everyday life. But if these things have caused you anxiety, fear, rejection, then create the lane and stay in the lane and not cross over. He's saying that they're playing both sides of the fence. But
in what, I'm still not understanding in what way
Yeah,
are they
I
playing
don't know
both
either.
sides of the fence. I mean, realistically, like there are gay men who play the role of straight until they can accept that like,
right,
is that saying don't even play straight, just go where you at,
be free.
but that's the
It
that's the
sounds
conflict
good.
that we don't
Yeah.
that
I mean,
we
I
don't
get it.
understand what it feels like to make a decision that will ostracize you from every part of life that you've ever known.
But if they want, okay, so in your defense, what you're saying is transgender people want to be left alone. You say they don't want to be bothered, they want to be left alone, but you want to be integrated. So if you want to feel apart, be apart. If you feel like you want to be apart, but don't say that you're being rejected and you have anxiety from transitioning and you fear if you still want to be apart.
All right, put a pin in that. We'll be back. Best comment for this conversation says, just make better bathrooms. You guys, you've been listening to the show right here on B94.9 WATB. We'll be back in about a minute and a half. Don't go far.
Can we
those of you who are viewing, hello to all of you. Woo! So yeah, all I said was all I said was, hey, let's talk about something good that Donald Trump has done.
You forced our hand.
And
You
it turned
forced
into
our-
that.
because that's how minimal the good stuff he doing. We
Yes.
gotta go find something
We're gonna get in an
obscure and
argument.
controversial.
Exactly. And I did think about what you said, but I wasn't going to say anything on air. Yeah, because I do feel like they definitely need their own space. I don't think it's fair. But the where the conversation branched to, I do think it's important to have these conversations
Absolutely.
so we can gain different perspectives. But overall, I think we just need to accept people for who they are. It don't have to make sense to you. You're not in their body. You don't know what they're going through, but kindness goes a long way. And I
agree.
think that's just what we need more of.
Absolutely.
My gubby.
Dropping them.
I
Okay.
agree.
And you know what this conversation does for me is when I talk to my trans client or when I engage with my trans friend, now I have more dialogue to bring to that. And I want all of us to be inquisitive enough to say, let me get your input, because we have outside of conversations. I don't want white people in black people business. And I don't
We're
necessarily
blacking
want,
right now. Get
I
out
don't
of here.
necessarily want to be in trans people business. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But it's just uncomfortable to see what's happening and what they may have to go through their material reality. And you know, one thing I said about this administration is like black people is going to be on the bottom of the totem pole of getting harmed right now because Latino
many other
community is getting
things.
snatched up and afraid to go to work. And the trans community got to change their license back. And people who done made a career out of the military that's trans getting kicked out, like their material reality is changing because of these decisions. And I just don't like seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think
kindness.
none of us like seeing it. And I just
Not
think
at all.
these conversations are necessary.
They're vital. Hey guys,
Wow,
thanks for
vital.
tuning in. Let's say hello to those of you who have viewed or liked Mr. Robert, Shia, Shawana. What up, Shawana? My mom. Hello there. Yeah, so share the stream wherever you're watching, wherever you're commenting from. I see more comments coming in on this side. I know that there are other watchers and viewers in other places. Let us know where you're viewing. Okay, so spring is Saturday, I think. Wendy, why are you doing Y'all need to see what she was just doing to me. It was really springy. It was really fitting. Spring is on the way. What you do?
My face just does things.
Yes, it did. I can't do it.
just does things.
Spring. We're springing into newness. Like that is the technical new year where there are new things in bloom. The energy is different. You've been hibernating and now you're waking up and moving around. And a lot of people are in their SIngletude. And they're focusing on themselves. How many of you are single? No, everybody in a relationship here?
When you say what does that look like? Does that
It doesn't
mean
look like what you are.
married,
Not married.
or you
Not
mean not
married?
married?
How many are
Is that what it means?
Can you
Not married.
come out of it for a minute, Woo? Until
You ain't gonna have on. Listen.
Not married.
Because if you wait from my hood, you can get from around here. That's what that is.
that is so unfair that y'all get to listen to Project Pack and I
You're
don't.
gonna have your headphones next week.
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
give you some. Single. What does single mean to y'all? I'm
Not married.
Single means unattached.
What does that mean?
You know what? These
what does that
this
mean?
very first moment is a big problem out here in the damn world. Like,
Right.
That is the problem.
If there's anybody out thinking that they have any wherewithal about your whereabouts, your safety,
What?
if they have anything to do with the way you live, if they're helping you pay a bill or not, you're not single.
Oh,
You're not.
okay.
And that's the problem. And that's why we have so many DV cases, because people are here playing. Stop playing with people's emotions. You are not single.
Okay. But I'm not in a committed relationship.
Step away from the streets.
Not in a committed relationship. Never discussed that with you. We aren't together. Never told you that. Yeah, we go out to eat. We sleep together. We have sex. We we know each other's cousins and friends. When I get a flat tire, I call you.
Mm-hmm.
But we ain't together though. Why you thought we was together?
you know what?
Perception.
That right there
Perception.
is what get windows smashed,
Yes.
tires slashed, because as you said, you're playing with folks' feeling. But
Mhm.
let's flip that over.
Let's flip it.
you want expectations of provisions.
Uh-huh.
What are you bringing to the table besides you?
What do you mean?
Okay, wait a minute. Wait, that has nothing to do with what we're saying. For
Because what?
anybody that has that situationship, this is what I don't like about people. When you enter situationships knowingly, you're in a situationship because that's what that is. You're not committed to somebody, but they're making all these provisions for you. You know what you're in. Stand 10 toes down.
I go with you.
Okay.
Stand 10 toes down. And when that person
My
tells
girlfriend.
you,
Yeah.
no, when that person tells you we're not in a relationship, you
You
have
leave.
to respect that, because if you're going to put up with it, put up with it. If you're not, leave. And don't put your emotions off on the other person. You knew what you were getting into.
Okay.
And that go both ways, right?
Okay.
It goes
Yeah.
both
Absolutely.
ways.
So let's lay some ground rules here. Dating, mating, and relating. The kickoff to spring. This is the season now where you are establishing and getting clarity on what you're involved in. Absolutely. And when we're talking about intimate, but that's it. We're talking about the importance of maintaining and getting ready for the season. So it is spring cleaning, and not just intimate relationships, but familiar relationships. You and your family, you and whoever, you and your friends. What does that look like when it comes to dating, mating, and relating? Whoever you date, whoever you mate with, whoever you relate to. What do those like? Are you doing the necessary steps to cultivate and nurture those relationships for a great bloom in the spring?
You want to know what creates a great bloom to me?
What that?
Minding your business.
Yeah.
That page.
Okay.
It cultivates warm relationships with your family. If you keep them out of your relationship, you can cultivate a better relationship with your family. If you keep family business, it just looks like everybody minding their business, but nobody really knows what that looks like because they're so worried about what other people say and what they're thinking and paying attention to. But just mind the business that pays you, mind your business, and keep your relationship to yourself.
Well, okay.
I
hear
don't want
you.
to share or like.
So no pictures.
I mean, you can. You
Me
can.
and boo.
I mean, it's not against rules, but don't do it for the shares and the likes. And then
Yeah.
3 months later, you wonder why. Hey, what that dude that you used to talk to?
We're
And don't
not
get mad-
together anymore.
Don't
Clean
get
it out.
mad at us when we ask about him because you posted it
Okay.
or her.
Well, that's on that type of relationship. What about those of us who don't talk to our siblings and our parents and our, whoever else it is or whatever? Like, we don't, like, I'm just wondering about all of these different relationships. But I did ask a question about the singleness, who all was single, who identifies as single. This is not one of those trick questions like the last one that I asked. It's not on your voting ballot, single, married, estranged. It's not there. Are you single? Who's single?
I'm single.
I'm single. You said technically. What is that?
It's not in there.
Right. He said. Okay. So maybe I need to get.
So you say unattached.
I practice ethical non-monogamy. So my existence is different in the context of this conversation.
Ethical non-monogamy
meaning I engage in relationships with multiple people who are understanding that with radical honesty. That's the ethical part, and making sure that everybody is okay with constant check-ins to make sure that everybody is all right with the arrangement that we have.
Okay.
So everybody knows about each other.
Talking to Mike Wendy.
So everyone knows about each other.
If they want to know.
No, I'm saying that's the question.
Well, that's
straightforward.
That's
answer.
that person's preference.
Radical honesty.
So one person is not interested in knowing anything. So their time with me is just their time with me.
Oh, you're dating. That's dating.
Well, the ethical non-monogamy part is being open to one of them becoming a relationship if that we choose.
Dating with a potential mate.
It does sound like dating, but non-monogamy.
The component is if I choose to partner with somebody, I don't have an expectation of having to let this other person go.
Yeah.
Dating.
You think so?
Yes.
You think that's dating?
Until you make the relationship official. So I've made this relationship with this person official, but I still want to kick it with you.
Okay.
Are we still dating?
So
no.
Yeah, because
let me pass this mic. Y'all out of my
now
what
it
does
has
it
changed.
go over for you? What does it go over? I want to know, what does it go over from dating to the ship?
A conversation.
Just a
Communication.
conversation.
So
Yes,
when
and-
he enters into the conversation of
Since
leaving
I'm
the
a
dating to a
female,
ship.
Since I'm a female, it would take the man coming to me saying, we need to go to the next level.
Okay. So once we go to the next level, he is saying, I still got ABC.
And I am saying I am choosing for me. I am
Yeah.
choosing to go this way.
And but I was just
But
making sure we
in
was on the
his,
same.
oh yeah, but in his case,
Yeah.
he's still dating. By definition,
So-
he's still dating.
Yeah, he's in
Well-
a relationship and dating. So
Okay,
Open
so you said
relationship.
it's an open relationship.
Dating.
but if it were that simple, that's what
Yeah,
it would be simple.
but it's not.
But it's never simple. Why is it never simple? So
Emotions.
That's what we're talking about.
Emotion.
SIngletude and spring cleaning. So for those of you in relationships, you probably need to clean up some too. I just wanted to start with the single folk. That's why I asked the question. But we're gonna go there
This
as
is-
well in just a moment.
So when I was in junior high,
Mhm.
my pastor happened to also be a substitute teacher.
I know you.
Okay.
He was a substitute teacher. So every now and then my pastor would show up and they were having a conversation in the class like kids be doing about relationships and stuff. And the pastor said, which makes why this question is very important is the pastor said, if you're not married, you're single. And I think like my understanding is biblically from the
From the
Bible,
Bible.
to consecrate a relationship, marriage is the thing that does that. Before that, what
You're
is it?
single.
But there is a lot of nuance under not being married of people
Absolutely.
seeking to connect and belong to each other that does need to be teased out and needs to be acknowledged as such. So it's like if you're gonna say not married, single, then we need new language to identify what it means in that. And again, because we haven't had the elders acknowledging that stuff, we got talking to, we got dating, we got single, we got people, women
We in a
having to ask dudes.
situationship.
Women having
The
to ask
elders
dudes.
don't know nothing about that.
We just need to go back to code.
Either you married or you not. The
Opposite.
elders don't do all of
But
this new
when-
stuff we got going on.
Women are not only having to ask men, are you single? They also have to ask, is there somebody else that think that you in a relationship
I
with
asked
them?
that question.
So here's the thing. I feel like we've become too nosy. I'm sorry. I'm a little old school. We've become too nosy. I feel like when people were courting, when they courted who they courted,
They didn't have the things that we have.
we didn't ask all these questions. You
Oh.
were a lady, and you and I know I'm not a pick me, y'all. I swear I'm not a pick me. But when you're a lady, you're a lady, and you
Okay.
stay in a lady's place. If there was anything that compromised you being a lady, you knew to move to the side. But as long as this man respected you and kept you in your place as a woman and protected you and did the things he was supposed to do as a man while dating or courting you, you stayed in your lane. You didn't say, "Who is this?" Because why do you?
Well,
care?
when did that sound so beautiful?
It does.
It really
and it
sounds
was beautiful
amazing.
until the culture
Social media and
changed.
stuff. Okay, so
And
look,
social media.
because let me tell you, I remember a
I
song
don't
with
think the
Barbara
culture
and
changed.
Shirley.
It did.
And
with dating.
Shirley called Barbara called whichever, and it was, she called and that was that part. Then there were other stories where, these beautiful, lovely women that tended to their men, they really got out of line and they showed out. And then we know that there are men that had children over there and over there and over there and over there. I don't think any of this is new.
No, it ain't new. It's got a new name.
And there's so many new names. My little fine-ish,
I mean,
my little won't.
but they had names then. Even
My
in the
little
courting,
yeah.
What?
even in
It
the courting,
did. It
in the
just
courting
monopolized
phase, it
it.
was my lady, my old lady,
Ugh,
my
don't call me
girl,
that.
my woman. I mean, they had different terms to describe the level.
I'm so
That's
weak.
why I'm saying, like,
It's the same.
even when we look at it now, the only difference is dudes are a lot different than they were back then. Women are still kind of you've all have arrived to a point where it's more balanced, right? Financially,
know.
yeah,
Mm.
a little bit more balanced than it was because they were so dependent they wouldn't leave.
Let me tell a
I
story.
think it's the
Take it.
opposite.
Let me tell
I
a
think
story.
it's dudes that's
Yes, just
the
little-
same and
yeah.
women that's different.
Yes. Okay. Let me tell a story.
I see it as the opposite as you.
I met a
Okay.
guy. The guy told me that he was just so enamored. So in the very beginning, he texts and was just like, I want to let you know I'm proud of you.
Good morning,
You
Queen.
don't even know me, right? You don't know me, but you were proud of me. I heard you were this, you did that. Well, I have this many children, but I know that doesn't really fit your image, but I really want to get to know you. I'm like, okay. Some other things were said, like a whole lot of different things. It's called love bombing, a whole bunch of that. I was like, boom, 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 boom. And I was just catching them, just getting knocked all around by these love bombs. And I was like, God, this is great. Because I was in my Singletude. You being your Singletude, glowing and shining and popping and balling that out at. I was on it. And here you come. So everything that he said that he was, ultimately, he was not.
Interesting.
I said, remember, yeah. Okay.
Discernment has to take a part.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
I ain't been in no relationship. I chose you to be in a relationship with. I ain't choose nobody else to be in a relationship with.
We call that game.
No, that's narcissism.
Maybe, but it's game.
Okay, let's keep going.
Game. See, we can't call that
It's not
game.
game.
He playing a game.
That was awful.
Well, playing a game is different than calling a game, because game is like a man's. What my understanding is a man's
got
ability to draw women in. That's game, and that don't have to be
That's what he
used
did.
problematically.
I mean,
But
that's what he
playing a
did.
game,
The way he did it was wrong, but that's what he did. That was his catch. Lame game he has.
His catch. Well,
okay,
I'll talk about that after air. So,
I'll need hands.
what I'm saying is, in your season of SingleTude, you have to maintain those boundaries so that you can maintain that glow and that effervescence, all those things. Because ultimately, this person also said, I use you for your energy.
No, he didn't say it out loud.
Out loud. I said, well,
you devil.
Wow.
Look at here.
Long as
Game on. All right. So,
I use you for your energy.
your energy.
I dig it.
SingleTude. When you're in your SingleTude, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing in those good spaces where nobody is lying and playing and like, what are you doing in those seasons and in those spaces? Are you watering your plants, drinking your water, taking trips, praying?
I think SingleTude just looks like life.
I had a clap for you too, but I moved it. Yes. It looks like life.
It looks like life. I don't think it's anything special. I think that if you're a goal-oriented person, is this thing on? I think SingleTude just looks like life. It looks like an ordinary day. You wake up and do what you have to do. You handle your business and you progress and you get better, as you should be, as every individual should be. So it's not anything in particular that, oh, I'm getting ready and I'm drinking more water so I can mind more of my business. No, you should be doing that anyway. Don't follow the memes on social media.
Yeah.
For a guy. That's what's wrong with y'all.
I want to hear, okay, because like with Marshall, I have to see what's popping down in your generation. I love the fact that we have you to represent this age group. I know they not like us, they not like you.
Right.
But what is that like? What is what is dating like for you in your how, if you don't mind saying how old you are?
I'm 26 and I feel like I was dating a little bit more last year. And it would be just like a few dates here and there, like checking out the person. But I feel like each person came with like different things about themselves. So for instance, like one person, I feel like they use their money as a way to kind of pull someone in. And it's like, okay, well, like you're young and that sounds really, really good. If you're using your money as like the catch, that's all it's going to be with you in a relationship. So it's going to be like, oh, I built this. I bought you this. This is my money. You just gonna up and leave me. Like, obviously, my mom taught me different. Like, you always need to have your own. But with him using that, it's just like, you're gonna use that against me at one point since you're like using that with such force now. So I was like, no. And then one guy, I feel like he was just trying to like pull back a little bit after I told him, oh, I don't know when I'll be ready to get married. And he got kind of quiet on the phone. And I was like, oh, that's interesting because like, don't you have to date, get in a relationship, be engaged, and then talk about marriage? Like, you don't just go on one date and be like, oh, I think I'm ready to get married. No.
That's
I'm
what
only
he said.
26. Yeah. Like,
How old was
come
he?
on.
He had something.
Oh, he's 27.
I mean, there is love at first sight.
True, but like, oh my gosh, like, let me get out my parents' house first. I'm not ready to get married right now.
Ready to move you
I'm just
out.
saying.
He was ready to move you out.
Yeah,
ready.
but like, he live in Huntsville. I'm not trying to stay here in Alabama. Like, I'm trying to go. So if you're just like set on being there, but also that needs to be a conversation that's had then. Don't try to like low key pull away, like you trying to teeter totter with me. Don't do that. Just say what it is and we can move forward. It's okay. Another guy, the date went very well. Like, it was cool. I was like, oh my God, I think I like him. And my mom was like, oh my God, I'm shocked to hear you say that. And I was like, yeah, me too. Then out of nowhere, I don't hear nothing from him.
See?
So I'm like,
Ghost.
oh, I'm not finna say nothing. So then my mom was like, you just gonna let him play with you like that? And I was like, I mean, no. So I'm gonna reach out. So I reached out and he was like, yeah, I found out something about myself and like you wouldn't even really want to talk to me no more. So I just decided to like let it go. And I was like, okay, well, I hope your journey to finding yourself gets easier for you. Like, it was nice meeting you. Thanks. But it was so weird. So it's like all of this stuff. It's interesting.
So to say the least, for you, it's interesting. So it sounds like you all know how to date, or at least you do.
Yes, I think I do. I feel like I'm a pretty open person and I'm understanding, but I also, with me being single for so long because I was in a relationship in college, with me coming home and like finding myself, I think I've like got a great sense of self-worth. So I have used this time to learn myself and understand that like, okay, if I go out with this person, it might not work. That doesn't like derail me or like reduce me as a person.
You don't get
it's
deflated.
just like, yeah, this just isn't gonna work for us. And if I don't like you, then like I'm okay with you leaving because I'm okay with being me and by myself. And like when it's time for that to happen, it will.
Okay.
I like it.
Spoken like a true G.
Dang.
I like it. So dating is learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, data collection.
Yeah.
Data
Observation.
dating collection.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
data collection.
I feel like it looks a lot different for her because of her background.
What is that?
You went to college.
Mm.
Okay. You have balance.
I went to college too, but I had a whole bunch of people.
You have balance as well. And that's why the discernment comes in when you're exposed to different things, different environments, different people. So a lot of people don't have that exposure.
True. So
They never leave their environment. So they tend to stick to the people and they have the same mindset of the people in the environment. So nobody really knows how to date.
So they say too, like you said, college. Like I said, I had a whole bunch of people around me from different places, and that was the environment in that setting. We were at Alabama State on campus. Now y'all know it goes down. You know it goes down. What schools y'all went to? Clark, JSU, Miles.
I went to UAB and
AUM, UAB.
Y'all know what them campus lives be like.
So social.
But I think what happens is you leave this era of dating and that idea because we probably didn't do it that way, and then you get to where we are now. And I can honestly say, in my Singletude now, I'm gonna be. You gonna have it's a. I'm kind of set in my ways a little bit. What happens then? Here we are, middle aged or just mature adults, and everybody's seemingly single unless they're married. Honestly, what does that look like? Cause you want to come over here? You wearing that? You got a problem with me doing this that I've been doing all my life?
It's harder. I think it is harder the closer you get to the other side of that magic number, whatever it is for you.
Grown.
Because because age don't determine that either. I think like y'all said, it's data collection, right? And I think you're going about it the right way because number one, get us all the data you can so you don't make a devastating mistake. Because divorce to me is a devastating mistake. And so for all the people who are single, what I keep hearing though, just to put it out there, is that it's so different now. That's what I hear in conversations, even in counseling lanes. It's like the dating scene is so bad.
It's horrible.
Toxic.
It's polluted. Yeah.
Polluted.
Yeah.
And so what made it change would be my question.
I feel like it's social media and people not necessarily like having a mind of their own. If you see something on the internet and you feel like that doesn't work for you, it don't have to work for you and you don't have to do it. But they think, oh, I saw this on the internet, so that's what I need to do. No, you don't. You need to have your own mind. Put the phone down and start looking within and think about, what do I like? What works for me? This and that. The minute people start doing that, we'll have so many less issues with. They think the internet is like a manual for how to be as a person, and it's not.
So
What's an example for that?
For what?
For what?
Taking a tip off the internet.
Yeah, like what are people seeing on the internet that they trying to do? What is that?
I listened to this podcast. And
What
they
I'm
said,
saying, but
hold on, y'all. Kristen moved the mic
but
to her. I ain't
also,
heard from her in
like,
about 2 hours. What's up? I want to hear this really bad.
I mean, also, and I think we've said this on here before, like music and the culture will have you thinking that you you have to do these things. You know, we got Sexy Red out here. She willing to be, you know, tell them we go together like them. So you with men that you know got others, and the best you can do is tell them we go together. They not gonna leave them alone like that. They're normalizing so many toxic relationships and toxic traits that just, you know, our parents didn't grow up with.
Here I am over here watering my flowers and drinking honey mint, whatever that is. Jonathan brought in here, drinking that and playing some soft jazz music beds. And this is boring over here because I really don't be doing it. This is so boring. I want to go back to the toxic streets. Well, so yeah.
For whatever reason, we're finding it easy to nurture
nothing,
toxicity.
Nurture nothing. We're nurturing nothing. Eddie, I want to go here with it. By the time that you reach the middle age of the dating pool, you're looking at a whole lot of trauma, a whole lot of baggage. Everybody's coming with some stuff, be it relationship baggage, from you got all this stuff from these other situations. You've been married, that's some stuff. You got these kids and their parents, that's some stuff. You got the stuff that you already had from your folk, that's some stuff. And here we are, 40, sitting down having this nice date that we're supposed to be having, getting to know each other. Now I'm scared. I'm scared.
Well, I think to thine own self be true. I think what she said makes it. That's all it is. You have to know yourself. And then you can't be afraid of knowing yourself. A lot of people get to know themselves. And when they finally see who they truly are, they're afraid of themselves. And I didn't know I like this. I didn't know I like to do this. It's okay to embrace that. You might be an L7. You might be a square. And it's okay. You might like to listen to jazz. In my middle-agedness, I love jazz.
Yeah, please do.
I didn't know it. And I don't want nobody around me playing all that bibbity boppity, like my daddy used to say. Okay. So you can't be afraid. Listen, because you've lived under everyone else's standards, the standards of your peers, the standards of your parents. Your whole surrounding has become what you've become.
Right.
And you're your surroundings. But once you sit in a quiet place and you get to know yourself, date who you are.
What if they don't exist? My friend
They
Eddie,
do exist.
They might not. My friend, remember the first show you came? We was like, must be an alien. My friend Eddie said, everybody. He didn't say this to me. He said it to somebody else that I was listening to or something. Everybody you date is gonna be a project or an experiment or a study or something. He said. I said, oh, let me write that down.
Absolutely.
Which project?
I co-sign that.
Like you should be a student of your partner.
Yes.
Ooh, you better study me.
You should be a student of your partner. That it should never go away.
Clap for
You
him.
better
Where the clap button?
Yes.
Can I get a clap button on
what
this
Gerald
side?
said?
Yes.
What Gerald said?
Need to give you.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why you need to bring your
That's
beat
too old.
machine.
I'm too old.
What practice? What did you
Practice
say?
Gerald
That one.
Levert. Yes. No,
Maybe
that's Barry
Barry
White.
White.
I said Gerald Levert.
Oh, practice what you preach.
Which song?
He did say that. Practice what you preach.
That was Barry White.
It ain't
Oh,
too-
no, that
I'll
was
be
Barry
your-
White.
And I'm ready for school.
Oh.
He was.
Oh,
When did the oldest one in the room?
It ain't
I
too.
am not.
I say it ain't too old for me, but my mama wouldn't let us listen to worldly music. So I got started late.
I said, I'm ready for school, baby.
Worldly music.
So
Okay.
jump in there.
All right. So I think social media is a convenient place to find ways to be, but I think that through our lack of dealing with our trauma and lack of knowing what to do to connect and belong to people and trying to connect through our trauma, I think we've always sought somewhere to look for how to be. And it's now social media, but we have always looked to mama, to aunt, to uncle, to the best relationship we thought it was had. And if we grew up in an environment that didn't have healthy relationships and they were toxic, we looked at what we perceived the best toxic relationship to be. And maybe for men, that's somebody who got a baddie. And maybe for women, that's somebody who getting their bills paid all the time. You looked at these things and said, that's what a relationship's supposed to look like without an actual understanding of what it looked like. And so a big part of what I do in therapy with Black men particularly is we go down the wrong of what patriarchy has given us that's problematic and what's not problematic. Because one thing that men struggle with is identifying women by who they actually are. They identify women by the duties. If you can take care of my kids, if you can clean a house, if you can cook, if you can do all of these physical things, that's as far as men go in choosing a partner. But what question do you ask to determine if your partner is kind-hearted, if she's forgiving, if she's gentle? What have you assessed of what kind of mother she will be versus just being somebody who will stay at home and take care of the kids? And so when I sit down with Black men,
Layers.
it's men, but I work with black men. So if I sit down with them, I got a emotions wheel, but on the other side, it's like a character trait wheel. And I say, let's identify your partner. Let's point to words that applies to her.
Okay.
And we missing that. Those dudes you dating, they are not trying to figure out what you have internally that match with what they desire internally.
Exactly. And
I don't desire nothing.
They're caught in the hierarchy. Like his brain go to marriage before he think of, are you marriageable for me?
Right. And I was thinking that, like, how you even know you want me to be your wife? You don't know what I got going on over here.
But what he do know is that, like a large percentage of women, which is easy to determine, you probably can cook, you probably can take care of kids, you probably can clean up a house. So it becomes real easy for men to select women, but real hard to disconnect from women, because once men choose a woman, love becomes duty. Love becomes what I can do for you.
Right.
It doesn't become any, and that goes into the conversation about women leave men at an 80% rate. And it's like, well, why we ain't leaving women at a higher rate if we've decided that woman don't fit us? It is not a flex to be somewhere that you shouldn't be if you determine that that's not where you should be.
I'm gonna just add her. I'm gonna just
That's what I'm saying. And that's
a
a problem. Because you can't say that no women that these men who don't leave are with.
9948949.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna slide in your lane because you said something that I believe should be unpacked. Going back to you. So I also think that there is this such thing called energy, connection, and chemistry, discernment.
Okay.
Those things lead you to a good place with a person when you know it's organic, when you know it's authentic, when you know it's genuine, and it's not a put on in the conversation.
Man,
you can know what you want. I believe this. I believe you can know what you want when you see what you want. If you've had enough bad to know that's what you want. At the same time, there's something on the inside of you says this is the one. And everybody's had that one.
This the one.
Well, I think the bundle of the things that you consider organic, I think those things are prerequisites for having hard conversations that need to be had early in engagement.
I mean, you have
like that organic, that's important. The one to me, the one means I'm willing to have hard conversations with you, and no matter how hard they are, I want to find out if these things fit who we are.
Okay.
Together.
Hey, caller, are we about to have a tough conversation? You ready? Hello?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, let's go. Let's go there.
So I try not to be, and I'm gonna try to stick to this, not to be so biblical, because that's my foundation. But you can't talk about this subject and not touch on some principles, some biblical principles. Those some things. There's some very interesting things said. Some biblical facts pointed out. Men, though.
I'm about to say you doing a Chris on us. What's up?
Men are simple. Okay. They know what they want. So men don't necessarily qualify women or disqualify women based on personalities. They will overlook, and sometimes to our detriment, we will overlook bad qualities based on what we want.
Okay. Your brother said facts. Okay.
And that is to our detriment, because the way that we should choose women should not be based on her body, first and foremost, because that's going to change. Her financial status, because that's subject to change. It shouldn't be based on anything superficial. It should be strictly based on her essence, her virtue. Bible says a virtuous woman is hard to find. And that's what every man should be looking for, is a virtuous woman. And vice versa, a woman should never be looking for a man.
Okay. We should never be looking for a man. Okay. So in your SIngletude, like we said, you should just be living your life. Now, I ain't never been one of them ones. I'm praying for the. No.
I know a lot of them like it.
Me too.
I've heard a lot in space.
Stuff, y'all can have it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, who?
Y'all can keep that Sierra's prayer.
yeah, that was
stuff.
pretty long. She said, and she got Russell
No,
Wilson
she
after
got
she
what she
prayed it.
Listen, because guaranteed, if you live in your life and doing the things that you enjoy, and this the problem I feel like people have, y'all don't never meet nobody doing what y'all enjoy doing. So y'all don't end up meshing. If you like to bowl, go bowl. If you like to shoot pool, go shoot pool. You like to be outside, go do your activities outside.
I totally agree, but I'm gonna step it up a notch because it's that other stuff. Like we
Yes.
can bowl and we can hike, we can listen to groovy tracks all
But
day.
you will be guaranteed to meet someone doing what you enjoy doing.
Okay, let me go back to this. We can do those things, but then there are those layers. I love bowling with you, but I hate how you don't know how to communicate. I love going to the bookstore on Saturday morning and I see you and I know your favorite coffee, Alicia Keys. But
And a fish plate.
okay, I know you like that, but
it's
I don't know what you believe in. We always get into arguments when it comes to emotion. Like it's so many things. And I think the older, more mature we get, the more that we understand about ourselves and about life, the more we need in a partner or not. Either you got it or you don't. I don't want a partner that can do the physical things but can't do anything mentally.
So what I was getting at was that it's better to meet someone organically,
Mhm.
meeting someone out,
Mhm.
being yourself, doing what you love to do, going to places you like to go, than to jump in somebody's DMs. And I think that is the problem with social media. These quick hookups, you don't know these people. It's perception. They show you what they want you to
Girl.
see. They can be anybody online. But when you're out and I see you in the grocery store and I see you pick up that $2 whatever it is, I know that's what you like. When you out and I see that you really engaged in your hobby, I know that you have hobbies, so you won't be so fully engaged with me when I want to have my me time. You have hobbies, you have friends. I see you with your friends. I see how you interact with your friends. I see the type of friends you have. So it's a lot that can be judged and taken from meeting someone out doing what you enjoy doing rather than what's up, Queen?
But I think that part of social media is just a step before getting to the phase where you learn all those things about a person.
Not organically.
I mean, organic don't make that big of a difference if you find what you're looking for in a partner through inquiring, because that person you met organically, they got stuff about them that might not make y'all a fit too. Yeah. There's still questions and conversations that got to be had to determine with discernment whether that person will fit you. Okay, we got this thing in common. That thing alone ain't gonna lead us to a relationship.
So that, and I can get eye contact with you. I can tell how genuine you are by the way you speak to me. Can you maintain eye contact with me? Are you a liar? Are you looking to the left every time you make a statement because you're lying? So it's just knowing just human behavior, body language. It tells way more than someone having a conversation via the internet. I can't see anything about you.
This is the distinction I make. The difference between people who date through media versus people who use media to meet people and then get to what you're talking about.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm talking about the part where, my intention is to introduce myself to you. Let's go get coffee. If you think coffee is cool and you can get those cues from me, let's keep doing this thing in person. I don't care to keep doing it online. But you are speaking to a group of people who legitimately just their life is online. And so their dating is online. Yep. And I mean, they're going to find their lateral that has that stuff too, but, and that is one of those big changes that social media brought about.
What the numbers look like on this online dating.
Well, and what's defined as online dating? Like Facebook has really linked a lot of people, and you jump off Facebook and immediately you're dating.
Yeah,
they don't really constitute that as online dating.
So it's the online just became the platform and the vehicle to which y'all met.
Mm-hmm. I told somebody to find me. Well, was like, man, what up? I want to get to know. Find me, and I kept walking, and he found me.
Oh wow.
On your book bag.
He probably was like, the one that had on the so and so with the blah blah blah. And somebody's like, oh yeah, that's what.
Hey, I want to
say something.
I want to say something to what the caller said. We are not as simple as we try to convince ourselves.
No, because it'd be a lie.
We are not. That is patriarchal propaganda. We are not simple. Because if we were that simple, then the first relationship we had to be our last relationship we had, if that's the case. If men know exactly what they want, and when they choose a woman, blah, 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 Or you're saying that women the only reason that men ever fail in relationships, and that's not the case. And I just hate the social narrative, especially the one that Steve Harvey gave, is that the women ain't, if she ain't for you, then he just ain't gonna do for you. He ain't gonna be your one. But like, why are you playing around with this lady time? If that's the case, if we so simple and we know what we're looking for, I don't want to hear how simple we are. I want to hear what our struggles. For men, I need a more concerted effort at us having a conversation about what our struggles are. What are our problematic behaviors? We need to start having a community conversation between us about that. Like, we want to navigate women out of criticizing us, but women wouldn't criticize us if we criticized us.
Ooh.
Women wouldn't have nothing to talk about us if we talked about us. Like, and again,
you get today's gold star.
Clap.
It's hard for me. It's because the way I do a lot of like TikTok lives, that's what my platform is, right? And the way that I talk to men in a group with men there is different than I have to talk to men when women are there, because women have such a strong urgency for men to change.
Yes.
That being gentle with men in public is hard for women to hear.
Yes.
Because their experiences with men have been
accountable.
so tainted by men. And that's the conversation we need to have before we say we simple, before we say we know what we want, before we come up with all these anecdotes of how, we are good. We need to start identifying how we are bad. And again, how to usher the new generation into not playing with people's time and talking about marriage too early and all of these different things that they be doing. Like, how are we transferring that to the youth? Because again, my last little piece.
Okay.
The conversation that the youth that we had was the girls spending time with mama because they were doing their hair. They was in the kitchen cooking with them. They were spending all this time with mama and grandmama and them. And daddy was across town acting crazy while the boys were just thrown outside to run around and not have any guidance. Yeah. Okay. When do we start that guidance?
Look, thank you. Let's go back to the very beginning. In the beginning. So men, and this is commentary that I use in my anger management class. I always ask the question, who's angrier, men or women? And who's angrier, men or women?
I believe men are angrier because men have an issue. They're not as vocal, but as far as emotions are concerned, they're far more bothered when they fail at something because they'll never dive back in.
Short answer. Okay, so you say men, but then I say, well, do we angry? We all have the emotion of anger.
Correct.
So then we start talking about aggression. Who's more aggressive, men or women?
I think it's personal. I don't know if you can put on gender.
So when we were created, the testosterone that you have, that's what makes you a man. That makes you a hunter-gatherer. That means that you look for dominance, you look for hierarchy, and you look for control, right? Like, that's how men were wired. Women, we are about social harmony. That's what we are. But we will, that's how our foremothers were. And the only time that they may see us turn up is to protect our children or to compete for food. Don't y'all get mad when you get somebody, get out of my food? Don't we go crazy about that?
My leftovers.
Y'all serious about y'all
girl. Why did you eat that?
Y'all want y'all food for sure.
And I'm gonna protect my children. And sometimes I fight over my man. Never. So you think about how we were designed, and you ask the question: have we really gotten so far from it? So when Eddie says that men are not simple, now y'all used to be.
We didn't used to be. We used to put on a mask of simplicity and walk around struggling internally.
Simple. Adam, stupid. Didn't God tell Adam? Didn't Adam hear the voice say, "Don't eat from that tree"?
Yeah,
did he hear that?
But the problem is, what did he tell her?
Don't.
What did he tell her?
Oh, what did he tell her?
And what did she hear? Because women don't like to listen.
But
my bad.
But how did that impact Adam? And he was Adam.
I didn't mean to say that on live.
No, you said what you said. We heard you. No taking. But Adam,
yeah,
bruh, why didn't you?
Hey,
why did you go for it? You were told. He heard it too, right?
Well, was she there when he was told?
Even if she wasn't, he knew.
He knew,
and that was it.
And his responsibility was to make sure that she knew.
So did he tell her?
What did he tell her?
See, so y'all been simple and slow. Cause what the hell? Why didn't you just say what he said?
Yeah,
he said don't eat from this tree. So what the hell you said? Yeah. He said don't eat from the tree, but he ain't say like from the top or the bottom. So I guess it's okay. What? Adam.
Yeah, that tree.
Bruh, the whole tree.
And so, but even with that being said, I told her don't touch the tree, and her competition for dominance to be the man, to be the leader. I eat the tree, and then I bring it to you.
You
Brother.
still supposed to tell me, girl. You
What
heard
did
what
I-
he said.
Exactly.
But Adam was slow.
Yeah, I ain't disagreeing with that. But just to go back to, that is simple, right?
He very.
Okay.
And that's how I
think,
treat you.
I
That's
think
how I treat
men
y'all
are
now.
simple to a degree.
I treat all of them
And
like
I also
Adam.
think that we can have mask of complexities as well.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a single one-liner.
Well, we're not slow. Okay.
We can't
We
can't
don't do
go
the
far
A's
back
to
as
Z.
Adam to try to figure out if we simple or not.
That's where you started.
We
He
are
was
very
slow.
complex.
That brain was on trial. He had the first brain. Give
We're gonna
Adam
try
some
with
credit.
him.
Yes.
He's stupid.
Listen,
Give him the
I-
project brain.
our brains got the same axons, dendrites, synapses. We got the same emotions and experiences. We got the same tear ducts that women got, but we believe we're not supposed to use them.
Yeah, now that is true.
That's conditioning. That is like male propaganda. That's total. We ain't supposed to cry. Why we got tear ducts? Why we got the same tear ducts and percentage wise more water in our bodies than women, but we can't cry?
You shouldn't feel those emotions like that. Why you so emotional?
I mean, and again,
And that's a mistake.
listen.
Human.
I think that's a mistake. But go ahead.
I'm just saying,
Yeah, I
if you
agree.
can find one mistake, you can find a bunch of them. I'm just saying, identify one piece of what's going on and figure it out. Like what we're calling simple men, I don't even know what that means. Like I don't even know the definition of a simple man. He said that
Did I
it's,
kill make a song?
he
Simple Man?
said, so Jonathan, we'll go with you. When you say we are simple, what do you mean?
I'm not saying a man is simple in that term. I'm saying we are simple in what we think, what we want. We're driven in
Easy to
lanes.
please.
Yeah, we ain't hard to please at all.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you that we are hard to please,
Okay.
and we are our own worst enemies. Because when
Okay.
black men are sitting there, having been married for 10 years, and they done built up resentment for their wife, and I ask them, well, have you asked your family for the things that you want that you are building resentment for not having? And they say, I ain't supposed to ask for that stuff.
Like what type of things?
I had a client that bought a dog out of resentment for his family.
Because he
They
never
didn't
had
want-
one as a
because-
child.
He didn't have one as a child, he wanted one, but the problem was when he told his family, I want a dog, they laughed at him. Because he never conditioned his family to believe that he needs things.
Okay.
Okay, I can get that.
Okay.
And I
And I
said,
hear
what
that
was
a
your
lot.
marketing plan? What was your marketing strategy for your family initially? Did you say, hey, family, I work hard. This is what I need from you. And so when I work with men who have this problem, I tell them this is the last time you're going to get socks for Father's Day.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I
Because
like
we're
that.
going to teach you how to use your voice. The problem is you're not using your voice. You're not telling your family what you need. You're just doing a bunch of stuff, wanting stuff internally and hoping that they pick that up somehow. And then when they pick it up, give you what you desire to have. And if they don't get it exactly, if they don't hit the bullseye on the dart, the resentment is building and it's going to keep building and it's going to keep building and it's going to keep building.
I like that.
We don't use our voices. And
Okay.
society
I
has
agree with
conditioned
that.
us not to use them
Reversed.
voices.
I agree
Okay.
with that.
The roles are reversed.
Cool.
Because we
So-
can't read your mind.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to speak.
So we Singletude.
Yeah.
I said I was coming for the married folk. We got a few minutes because I don't know what be going on. I don't know if I don't know if single, married, confused, situationship, linked, tied, estranged, problem.
Separated.
Is it still
What?
complicated on there? Is that still one of the
Probably. Why? So
Absolutely.
this is where I'm going with this spring cleaning. And I think, Eddie, what you were talking about just now is more marriage stuff, right? Like I've gotten with somebody and we've been together and I still don't know what they need or what they want. I don't care. I don't care for them in a way to ask those questions.
Yes, but we don't use them voices nowhere else either. We don't use them voices with our supervisors. We don't use those voices with our parents, even after we done aged out and should reasonably be able to have an adult conversation with them. We don't use that voice with our friends because men had this competition between each other where we can't show that we are weak because that's, we are
dominance, and
afraid of that.
hierarchy. Mhm.
So yeah, we end up not using our voice in that marriage, but that's because we seen our granddaddies come home, never say nothing, and have our grandmamas paying pin to tail on the relationship when all he had to do was say, "This is what I need from you, wife." But
Yeah,
he never did.
that's good. My
He
granddad
just
used
be
to in the
mad when she
basement.
cooked the
That was
wrong
his spot.
thing that day. Instead
Yeah.
of coming home and saying, "I really like to have some salmon," and she had turkey necks, He would just be mad because turkey necks is in there. And she'll have to be like, are you okay? Was it the turkey necks? Instead of using his voice.
Okay.
I think in that same lane, so with the conversational piece, right? It's on him, man, to communicate his needs, right?
Yeah.
But when you get down to the bare bones, men don't really have a whole lot of needs.
That's not true.
Men have a lot of needs.
I say a whole lot.
Men have enough
needs.
needs. No, well, the needs that men have, they still not expressing those. Okay. I mean, that's a scale. Like, not every man have as many needs as the next man. Don't get me wrong. I am a very low maintenance relationship person, and I've tried to be middle maintenance. I've tried very hard to be at least middle maintenance. So I do know that lower maintenance men exist, but there's a lot of men who even the needs that they have, they're not expressing. And I don't even necessarily think that not expressing the needs is more significant. I think not expressing the struggle is more significant, because when I don't have a problem telling my partner, I had a dream about my granddaddy last night. It was pretty emotional. So I might be a little bit unresponsive today on text and stuff because I'm just in my head. If I can't talk about my vulnerabilities with my partner, that's the difference between you not telling your partner that you having a struggle because of a dream or whatever the struggle was, or work, and you getting off of work and she say, why you ain't cutting the grass? Instead of saying, I'm going to have the meal that my partner liked because he let me know that he was struggling today.
And that right there is why SingleTude is so important. You had a dream, baby. I love you. If the relationship has garnered that type of energy, I'm gonna give you that. But today, right now in this space, what? You know what? I'm gonna go like today. I was able to say, you know what? I'm going to Southern Kitchen. I want chicken and dumplings. Guess what I did? That.
So when men have those issues, do they ever, in the beginning of a relationship, when you're looking for your partner, do you recognize that there's someone you can't be vulnerable with and that you can't have those conversations with? Or do you overlook that, which is the most important thing for a man? Because as a man, the only thing you really want from your woman is appreciation and, to be shown appreciation and to be able to take the cape off when you come home. So do y'all not do questionnaires and look for that in the beginning?
Right now, culturally, what I think is, one, men have been forced to be emotionally repressive while women have been able to be emotionally aggressive. And because of that, but nobody know what to do with emotions until you learn what to do with emotions. So sometimes that emotional expression is just problematic, but that emotional repression is always problematic. Because of that, I don't think men have been confrontational. Men haven't been given the foundation to be able to be comfortable with expressing emotions. And I think right now, culturally and socially, what's happening is a lot of men are saying, if you share your emotions with a woman, they're going to use it against you. And a lot of men are just shadowing that information without the evidence to suggest that would be the case for them.
Thank you. I want to go back to the fact that a lot of people aren't even getting to what we're talking about. This is depth. This ain't what's happening in these streets at all. As it sounds really good on the radio because we have these type conversations. That's why you're here. But 85% of people are not experiencing any of this.
Because they're not getting past phase one.
It ain't no phase. It's no phases. It's just, I don't even know. When's the last time? How were you approached the last time somebody approached you?
Wow.
What did they say? What did you say if you approached them? Like, how does it go? We don't even know how it really goes.
I've never. Okay, so that is a complex thing when it comes to women because a man will approach you how he views you. So I can't really say, why.
But personally,
women are being disrespected. I've never been disrespected by a man on the approach.
Okay, so last time somebody tried to approach you, how did it go? Was it in person? Was it on?
It was in person.
Okay,
and it was actually at the gym.
Okay,
and it was very respectful. It's usually that the waves at first to make themselves. You working out today? Oh, what you working on? Okay. But then after you have those few conversations, it's like, he shot his shot and it wasn't out the way. It wasn't overt.
So y'all go together now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Kristen, so for you, I was looking up there.
I know, right?
For you, how was the last time somebody tried to approach you? How did it go? Where did they find you?
I mean, I agree with Wendy. I've never been approached in a disrespectful way. It's always been respectful. And I think I would account most of that to the circles that I run in.
Okay.
I tend to not run in certain circles, so I won't be say red A shouted like I don't run in those.
What up,
circles.
though? Oh, no.
Right. So
What up? At the
I
gas
mean,
station?
the last time I was approached, it was, hi, how are you? I noticed you from over there.
Yeah.
You doing all the line dances? Yeah, I was. Right.
How she playing fool?
Whoa.
And just small talk, and then hey, you mind if I get your number?
No, you can get it.
No, thank you.
I mean, like, fine. That's how be find me. Like, what? And they could be. So the last time, I don't know. I know you're spoken for over there. Eddie, has a woman approached you recently, and how did it go? Or is it always you approaching?
It's a mix of all of it. Most of my engagements have started online and then transitioned to in person pretty quick,
Same,
and then it
yeah.
go or naturally from there. But I've had women that come into my DMs on Facebook. I DMs ain't my thing.
Even if I come to you that way, this is the only way.
Yeah, no. I'm saying I'm cool with you coming to my DMs.
Okay.
I don't jump into DMs because I don't know that you're in the dating space. On dating apps, I know that you're choosing to be in the dating space.
How's they choosing you?
The he getting chose.
Oh,
Well, no. But I'm saying when I match with people online, and when you on dating websites, like you gotta respond first as the man, except on Bumble. Bumble women have to respond first. I think to keep it's a app called Bumble. Women have to respond first, but I
didn't know that.
Well, I think that's to keep women inbox from having like 100 men in there a day.
Yeah,
I think Bumble is where women get to control that a little bit.
Okay.
But the rest of them, like, I mean, I've been on all the apps for about 20 years. Go back to Black Planet.
Get a Christian mingle. Rochelle, so you started us off in this conversation. Wrap us up. Last time you were approached, are you gonna stay in your Singletude? What you thinking?
The last time I was approached was at my retail job. He had.
Why are you talking so soft?
I don't know.
Get sexy now.
I don't know, you guys.
It's just us.
It was at my retail job, and he was like, trying to ask me about the sunglasses and stuff, and like which ones I thought looked better on him, which I was like engaging. And then he left and came back and was like, I just think you're very beautiful. Can I get your number? But okay, the approach is cool. I think the approach is like really where it all starts. But when we start getting into those conversations, that's when everything changes.
Yes.
So this particular person, we were texting and he was like, oh, I want to see you. And I was like, okay, cool. And so then he was like, is it too soon? And I was like, I mean, too soon for what? He was like, for you to come over. We just started texting on Friday. Why am I coming to your house? And why is that the first invite? You're going to take me out on a date. And I told him, you can take me out. I'm free on Monday. And he was like, okay, cool. Do y'all think I heard anything from him after that?
Oh,
no.
Good
And
job.
I don't care.
Good
Bye.
job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Expectations.
Big show tonight. We talked about a lot of things, and we wrapped up with DMR every third Sunday. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Thank you for your insight. Thank you to the crew. Every Sunday, 7 p.m., except for the Sundays when we're out of town and doing other things. Okay. Tune in tomorrow at 12 for Lady Woo's Midday Fun Sway, kicking off with the free lunch flashback right here on V94.9 WATV. Y'all be vital. Have a great night. Bye-bye.
That was a good show, you guys.